I'm Justin Tavio, and welcome to State of the U. We're going to take a focus today on looking at the difference between the read and the reasoning behind running the stock bubble, and then by running Snag, the Snag concept that I love so much. So the first thing to look at is when you're running stock and bubble, this could be a possible look. Miami likes to use this look at three receivers, kind of an H-back type guy, and the tailback and H opposite of the two receivers. We're looking at a four-down line, two inside linebackers, that hybrid linebacker that you're seeing so often, a corner playing off, maybe inside, safety, and a corner pressed up, really giving a jam here, a jam and run. So if we're going to run this the way that maybe Miami traditionally would, maybe running a base zone, okay? So you're getting combination here up to the next level. Maybe you're getting a gap hinge there on the defensive end. He's not going to pull. There's no read there. We're going to base this here, all right? And he can either do a variety of things. He can loop inside. He can help contribute there. It depends on what you're really looking for here. And he's going to work there. There's no zone read, inside zone read, so he's not going to read this defensive end. But in his pre-snap look, he's going to look for some stuff. He's got a too-high shell, which means there are two high safeties. When you have two high safeties, you're looking at something that's looking to prepare for the pass, right? Because it widens out the box. This area is going to constitute the box. And his count on that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? So he's got a six-man box. In a six-man box, remember our rules. 7 or more, we're going to throw. 6 is sort of our wish-wash, 7 is our wish-wash, and 6 is kind of we expect to be able to run on 6, definitely 5, but run on 6. We've got to see what we've got here. So if we're looking at a guy playing maybe at about 5 yards, splitting the difference, which is the space here between the receiver and the tackle, it's going to be hard to throw that bubble. He's going to be able to come down and attack it, right? So if we're running stock bubble out here along the perimeter, stock in a bubble, we're an easy stock there. We can always stock here. All right, and do sort of cross block and pick him off. That's the one where you see guys, they miss that block, and then all of a sudden, receiver's blown up. And so do you trust this guy to make that block every time, or this one? And then this will just take the look off. You're going to be able to go ahead and give the ball. As you notice during the course of the game, guys will really start locking in on this bubble. And you're either going to get more aggressive play towards it, or playing down and over it, or you're going to get somebody just screaming out there, or teams will start creeping him up. He'll start dropping, he'll play, and he'll roll, okay? To avoid that kind of action, you've got to have something else in your arsenal. Miami runs some of the double slant. On the double slant, they're reading this player here, and as they read that player, if he plays the run, you replace the slant right here behind him, right? So that's another option that's available to you that we've talked about in the post. But something that I love is the snag. We're going to get to that now. Okay, the snag. You don't want to lose the ability to throw this bubble or your outside RPO game, because you're going to start having something like he's going to start walking up in the box and they're going to bounce out right before the snap, okay? Or you're going to start getting those cat blitzes where the corner's going to come in and help kind of pick this off on the side. It'll kind of eliminating your H-back. So you're going to start getting a stack box one way or another. He's going to start walking himself inside so he can play over top, whatever the case may be. So in order to avoid that, the snag concept works really well. I run it differently than most people do. Most people are going to run the slant to stop, so you're replacing the space of this player, right? It's enough depth here, it's enough depth there. He's going to be watching all of this. You're hoping that he's kind of playing it up inside of the run. And I don't think there's enough space for him to get there, because his first initial read is going to be a run read, so he's going to freeze or stay up. And then you have your slot player. So what does this flat player do as I read him? If the flat player runs with the bubble, which is the way that I draw this up, he's going to evacuate that space, and we're going to be able to hit that stop behind him. Eventually, he's going to get a little weary of that, and he's going to start playing back in the slant, in which case you throw the bubble. Now, a lot of people use it as an arrow route, so like a flat route. I don't do that because it doesn't fit into a ton of what I do. I already run a slant arrow where I'm trying to bang these two guys into each other as it is. So in my mind, I don't do it that way. They also, if they put their H here, something in there, they'll run a post kind of thing to draw him off and to get him over the top. And that way leaves this guy against either the arrow or the stop. And that's a good concept for you. The issue for me is in the high school level, especially small ball level, it's hard to hit this route. Getting a corner route from inside number 3 is hard to get to in timing and hard to hit. I want to have every one of my routes something that I can actually access. And so I like to run something that sits, it's a vertical, but it's more like maybe a Mike Leach where if there's space, you sit. And so if I can tag, clog him up, running off vertical, right? And my corner now has to make a decision, okay? He sees a vertical from number 3. He sees the bubble. He gets some pressure at him, and it's a breakdown. I think it still works just as well. I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to have that corner out, pull the corner and the safety. If you can't complete it, it's kind of pointless, and so we do it a different way. We run it vertical. But as you can see, and you're going to see there in the article, that snag concept now puts him in a bind. He can play pressed up, but it doesn't matter. If he keeps running the bubble, we'll throw it right behind him. As soon as he's pressing, he bails. We're just going to keep throwing a bubble. It's going to work for us. And I think it's something that they're going to have to consider over time at Miami is running that snag concept.